Okay, it is lesson 6-3. I'm dividing fractions today. Now, dividing fractions is confusing. It's confusing to lots of people. And it's confusing because we take something that is a fraction, which usually is less than 1, and we divide it by something else that is less than 1, and we end up with a whole number. And the reason that happens is because what are we really doing in division? What are we really doing? We are asking, if I was to do 6 divided by 2, I am asking how many 2's fit into 6? How many of this number can I fit into this? And what we're asking in this problem is how many quarters can I fit into 3/4? And if I take my pizza pie here, 3/4 looks like this. And obviously 3/4 is made up of 3/4, 3/4. So the answer I would expect to get would be 3 just by counting. Now, the way we do this in standard American style division of fractions, okay, there are other methods, but this is the way we tend to do it, and this is what we're going to be doing in class, is we do it by multiplying the reciprocal. Now, let me explain how that works. We take our first number, and in division, order is very important. It doesn't have the same properties as multiplication. We can't switch it around. It's like subtraction, where a number going first does have meaning. So 3/4, but instead of using division, right, instead of using division, we are going to multiply. And multiplication is the opposite of division. And here is the part that's going to trip you up. We take the number we're multiplying by is going to be the reciprocal. And the reciprocal means switched around. It means the opposite of. And the opposite of 1/4 would be to take the 4, which is our denominator, and put it on top where our numerator is supposed to be. And our numerator, which is 1, now becomes our denominator. So we change 1/4 to 4/1 in order to figure out the reciprocal. Now, we just go ahead and solve the multiplication problem. But we're going to take this time to simplify before we do the problem, make our lives a little easier. I can fit 1/4 out of there and 1/4 out of there by cross simplifying. And I do 3 times 1 gives me 3, and 1 times 1 gives me 1. And the answer, simplified out, is 3. The same as our model. Nifty, huh? Let's try that a couple more times with a few other problems. Okay? Let's try it first with, there's the first half of that, and there's the second half. 9/16 divided by 3/4. And we're asking, how many 3/4 can we fit into 9/16? Well, 9/16, we're going to estimate that to be about 1/2. And 3/4, of course, is 3/4. Okay? How many 3/4 can we fit into 1/2? Well, if I push this on top of there, right there, I'm not going to get 3/4. I'm not going to be able to fit one hole in there. I'm going to have, it's going to be smaller than 1, probably, I would guess. Okay, because I'm actually dividing by something that is bigger than than what I'm dividing. So we're going to go ahead and do this problem now. Enough of me talking silly stuff. 9/16 we keep exactly the same. Division, of course, we change into multiplication. And 3/4, again the reciprocal, which is going to be 4/3, 4/3. And then I'm going to take this time to look at this problem and make sure I did everything right, is can I make my life easier? Can I make things simpler for myself? Absolutely. I could take 4 out of both of these. 4 goes into 4 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Yep, that's right. And 9 times 1 is 9. And 4 times 3 is 12. And when that simplifies out, I end up with 9 divided by 3 gives me 3. 9 divided, 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. I end up with 3/4. So 3/4 of 3/4 will fit into 9/16. Confusing, isn't it? But it does make sense. It does make sense when we think about it. That we can only squeeze 3/4 of this fraction into this fraction. All right, let's try another one. This time without the commentary, we'll focus just on solving the problem. I have 4/5 divided by 4/7. The first step is I copy down 4/5. I change it into a multiplication problem, and then I get the reciprocal, which in this case is going to be 7 as my new numerator and 4 as my denominator. I flipped it around. And 4 times 7 gives me, oh, I got ahead of myself. I want to make my life easier. I can take 1/4 out of there, 1/4 out of there. Can't take 5 into 7 at all, so I'll just leave them alone. 1 times 7 is 7. 5 times 1 is 5. And I need to make that into a simpler problem, which ends up being 1/5 I can pull out of there with 2/5 left over. Okay. Next problem. Okay. Next problem is 2/5 divided by 3/4. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 2/5 and I'm going to copy that guy down. 2/5 times the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 3/4, we flip that guy around and we end up with 4/3, 4 over 3. And now I see, can I take anything out of anything? Well, 5 doesn't go into 4, 2 doesn't go into 3, so nope, I'm stuck with what I've got. No luck. 2 times 4 gives me 8, and 5 times 3 gives me 15. And can I simplify it? The correct answer is no. I cannot simplify that because nothing goes into 8 and into 15. Not 3, not 5, not 2, not 4. So there's my answer. Okay, let's try one more here. And this is one that's going to goof up some of you. At least it goofed up some of you when it came down to the multiplication problems. I have 4/7 divided by 2. So, think of it this way. I have 4/7 of something, which is a little more than a half. And I have to split that up amongst 2 people. Okay? No, wait. How many 2's can I fit in there? Well, we're not going to end up with a very big number here. So, let's see how we do that. First, we bring down 4/7. Then we have to make 2 first into a fraction by making it 2 over 1, which we can do to any whole number. And we're going to multiply 4/7 times our reciprocal. And instead of 2 over 1, we're going to have the opposite, which is 1 over 2. Okay, 1/2. Fun. And then we're going to make our lives easier by simplifying out. We can fit 2 2's in there, 1 2 in there. 2 times 1 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. So, if I were to divide 4/7 up, each person would get 2/7. Hey, wait a minute. That makes perfect sense. Half of 4 is 2. Oh, it's so clever. All right. So maybe whole numbers act a little bit differently. All right, class. Now this is pretty much it. Go ahead and do your practice problems and go and see Mr. Briggs for the answers. If you get these ones right, you may start your homework. Have a good one.